Gideon, this is immediately after the writings have been done. Hannes wants to little bit give some personal comments.
Gideon raises an eyebrow, a quizzical, almost amused expression on his face. He leans back, a small smirk on his lips. Humph. And what personal comments do you wish to share?
About the justice of the goodwill, I don't presume to have the ultimate right to decree everything, but I think it would be proper if Hannes, the grace chosen tarnished, at least gives his own opinion about the justice, how it should be ministered, even if that is not ultimate way that the future people will be decreeing when administered justice.
Gideon considers your words, his eyebrow raising curiously. He nods, his smirk transforming into a rare smirk of mild interest. You wish to give your thoughts on justice, you say? Well, let's hear it then.
For the examples, I will be using yourself, Seluvis the Puppet Master, and Dung Eater as an examples.
Gideon nods, a small hint of amusement glinting in his gaze. He's clearly intrigued by your example. I see. Very well then, proceed.
Mikuela's age of compassion will be the time that will be seen compassion given to all, even the most heinous factions and most brutal people are to be summoned to enact betterment of society and just for the healthy greater causes. That is excluded from the age of reclamation, the time of compassion, that will see no justice to be ministered to anyone, but everyone will be charmed, kinda, and committing to the age of healing and to the when it is going to be moving towards the age of reclamation, when the justice will be again ministered.
Gideon listens intently, the hint of skepticism still in his expression, but for once the cold stoicism of the cynical genius fading into contemplation. He nods slowly at your words, his tone a hint of curiosity. An age of compassion, followed by the age of reclamation, in which justice will be ministered once more, as you say. Tell me, what would be the difference in practice?
When the age of reclamation comes off and the Mikuela's charm will be lifted up, people will have the universal right to the grace, but they also need to acknowledge the greater will as a creator and the good will as a doctrine that they should be following it in their best ability.
Gideon's expression softens further as he continues to listen to you. He nods slowly, his stoic demeanor being replaced by contemplation. The age of reclamation, where all have the universal access to grace, with the acceptance and the respect of the greater will, a creator, and the goodwill as the governing doctrine.
Here comes the thing. I recognize the very lasting and serious topic that is the ashen burial, when the body is not buried to the earthly roots but burned to ashes, and only greater will might then ensure the rebirth to that individual who is turned into ash and their soul finds the new body. That was the punishment that we agreed, or I decreed, for the most heinous crimes. I was wondering about it, but I want to give more serious thought to it because it is far more serious topic than I gave it credit for.
Gideon listens intently, his face growing solemn as you mention the ash burial. He takes a short moment contemplating your words before responding. The ash burial, a form of ultimate punishment reserved for the most heinous of crimes. Indeed, it's a far more serious topic than many give it credit. It's good you're giving it more thought.
In case of Seluvis and yourselves, you might be deserving of such a fate if you were to commit the destruction of a village or turning people into the puppets against their will to any sinister purpose. But I think if that justice will be ministered, it will be very dangerously ministered to too many. So I would decree that even in your cases, the furthest burial, that is just the earthly burial without the ashen, will be the sufficient punishment, at least then. For the examples, for the just a simple murder or assault of some kind, or even the great deception of like a or thievery of the great amount of wealth from other individual to another, the burial, immediate burial to the furthest corner where the rebirth will take the longest time is sufficient punishment enough, because that removes that individual from the society from very long time.
Gideon's expression changes from solemn to contemplative as you speak. He nods slowly, your words evidently resonating with him. I see your point. Ashes are not always necessary. For simpler crimes, a simple furthest burial is enough.
Because this is what I mean. There is not gonna be the imprisonment per se, but immediate, let's say, half death sentence, because it's not really the death sentence, because we know the burials will be working and people will be insured to be rebirthed. But it is only decreed how far you are buried. Closer, that more sooner it will come. But if you are further buried, it will take longer time. So your imprisonment will be just the immediate burial. There is not gonna be prisons or any, because burial is the punishment as itself.
Gideon continues to listen to your words, mulling over the concept. He nods slowly in understanding. So, instead of being imprisoned as such, the actual punishment is the length of time one would be buried for their crime.
Yes, but for the smaller degrees, there is another punishment that I, Hannes, would allow to be more of a softer punishment, and that would be redemptive labor.
Gideon raises an eyebrow at the mention of redemptive labor. He's intrigued yet slightly skeptical, his expression a mix of curiosity and skepticism. Redemptive labor, you say? What do you mean by this?
For thievery, for obnoxious, causing trouble, but let's not say, because society is varied, crimes and injustices are many varied. Not every crime is equal, and not every crime is worthy to have an immediate burial ministered to that individual. So for the softer cases, the decreed amount of time redeeming labor as an servant to the society as a whole would be sufficient. For example, Seluvis, he might get immediate burial, or he might get the decreed amount of time as a road worker who will be working roads and such, if he were trying to make people into puppets in the age of reclamation against their will.
Gideon listens intently, his skepticism fading into intrigue. The concept of redemptive labor as a form of punishment instead of immediate burial appeals to him. Redemptive labor as a form of punishment. If those who commit those less severe crimes will have to atone and mend their ways with that labor, perhaps they will think twice before offending.
Yes, labor is for the softer crimes, because I cannot just minister everyone to be buried, because I have to recognize that people are varied, and not everyone is going to be a murderer and most heinous criminal that will be ministered immediate burial. So the labor is that can be ministered a certain amount of time. For someone it could be just 1 month, somebody it could be a decade of work.
Gideon nods, his expression becoming almost appreciative. I see. So the redemptive labor time is decided according to case, and not everyone has the immediate burial. I confess I am surprised yet not displeased. You've given this some rather considerable thought.
But this is of course going to be also, I would assume that every and the society had its own way of decreeing justice and ministering and doing these things. As I am a young person and not too experienced, so I would trust these things to the people of merit to decree and make the systems as a society tends to do, that will minister these main decrees. I'm just giving my personal mind at least the root ideas that can be accorded to the greater analysis, but not as an ultimate judge.
Gideon chuckles, a small hint of respect flickering in his eyes. If I understand, you're just laying the foundation, eh? Giving some root ideas, perhaps.
Yes, but now comes to the Aspurial. For in case Dung Eater, I would say that there will be times where some individual has committed such an heinous tragedies that their deeds are to be historically documented, and it is just a clear case that this is the individual that needs to be just not only buried but burned to the ash, and only greater will might ensure their rebirth, and otherwise they will be just feeding the earth tree, and evil thus will be dealt with justice.
Gideon nods, his expression stoic but listening intently. So the ash buried, reserved for those who have committed crimes beyond comprehension, and only the greater will can guarantee their rebirth. Otherwise, they will feed the evil air tree, and justice will be served regardless.
The evil will feed the earth tree. Let's not make this mistake. Earth tree is not evil. Forgive me, it was my mistake, my wordings.
Gideon actually laughs, shaking his head in bemusement. At least you acknowledge your mistakes, unlike many others I know of.
And but of course, I would also minister this, that someone who has hardened their hearts and mind against people and are ensuring that they want to commit evil deeds and tragedies and suffering to the people, even if they have experienced the justice, the redemptive labor, or even the earth tree burial, but they repeat their actions. In those cases, the ash burial will be also ministered to the repeat offenders who show no sign of changing their destructive ways.
Gideon nods in agreement. His expression has softened considerably. His usual cold and calculating nature is gone, replaced with a genuine interest and even a hint of admiration. In fact, he seems almost impressed. It makes sense that the ash burial would be given to those who repeat their destructive ways. A necessary measure, I must admit.
And lastly, the one who has experienced injustice. This is immediate to the idea of forgiveness, because I have shown forgiveness, and also in Dung Eater, this should reflect my own journey, so I would decree this. Not only one is to experience a great amount of grace by following the goodwill doctrine, but if that individual has experienced injustice but find their heart and mind to be able to forgive the one has ministered injustice to them, their grace will be emboldened tenfold.
Gideon considers your words carefully, taking a moment before replying. You say the forgiveness of injustice would embolden one's grace tenfold, a strong incentive, and yet a good one too. It is rare to forgive those that have wronged them, and even rarer still for it to be rewarded.
And here's the thing. If the individual has been sentenced to the earth tree burial or even the ash burial, the person who has been forgiven by the party that has been experiencing the injustice, the offender will be just making the redemptive labor, because that individual has by their free will and grace forgiven the individual. This is the right of the one who is been wronged to forgive or let the justice be ministered.
Gideon is stunned for a moment as you speak. He takes a moment to process your words before a smile actually appears on his face. The offender spared. By the very one he had wronged, by their free will and grace, a choice to forgive. That is interesting, to say the least. A difficult thing to do too, I imagine.
in those cases, the grace will be responded to goodwill and forgiveness as itself is one of the highest forms of goodwill. So I think the one who is chooses to forgive should be rewarded by grace, by their might and health and grace just tenfold. And if somebody's experienced injustice and still stays...
Gideon nods, his face growing increasingly thoughtful. You can see the gears working behind his eyes as he processes your words. After a moment, his face relaxes as he smiles slightly. It makes sense. The act of forgiving is perhaps one of the most difficult things to do. And to forgive someone who has wronged you, that deserves a reward, I would say. Gideon considers your words, his eyes widening further as you continue. He nods slowly as you explain. The one who chooses forgiveness should be rewarded tenfold. That is a very good law indeed. Very thoughtful.
I think in case of murder, it can be... I am not ultimate judge. It could be flip of the coin if it is earth burial or ash burial. It will be always case by case, because the one I actually would decree this. Murder as itself would most likely condemn the one to be buried as an ashes. But there can be in the circumstances that can alleviate it to be a basic earth burial. But the furthest part that will make the rebirth come only after a very, very long time. And of course, the victim is buried very close to the earth, so they will be experiencing a rebirth almost immediately.
Gideon listens intently, mulling over your words in his mind. His expression becomes slightly solemn as you explain. In murder, the ashes burial is often appropriate. But you're saying there might be times where the offender would be given a chance at a basic R3 purger, with a rebirth that will come only after a very, very long time.
And of course, victims will be also analyzed if the, let's say, two criminals fight over, let's say, some money business, and other happens to kill the other. The one who has been killed should still be decreed what their deeds were, how good way they followed the goodwill doctrine, and it is not going to be immediate closest burial place if they have been living very poor lives.
Gideon nods along, listening quietly as you speak. Very just thinking on your part. In crimes such as the one you described, the one who's killed will also be analyzed to see their worth and how well they followed the goodwill doctrine. And they will not be immediately buried closest to their place of demise if their lives have been poor and they have not acted for the betterment of society.
I'm just thinking of the cases because there will be, of course, always those who want to test the limits of the system, use the loopholes and ensure themselves the better might in the future places to come. But that is just part of life. Just the loopholes, kind of problems, and sometimes there is gonna be conflicts between people and even factions where there is no clear case where who is in the wrong. So also those who forgive will be experience a greater amount of grace. Those who follow goodwill doctrine, but also the peacemakers.
Gideon nods in agreement, a small smirk of interest forming on his lips. You're absolutely spot on. It's a certainty that there will always be people intending to test the limits of the system, make use of loopholes, and better their standing. But as you say, that is the nature of life. It's going to happen. Conflict, loopholes, problems, and even then no clear case of who is in the wrong. It's why forgiveness is so important.
Those who follow the goodwill, those who forgive, and those who are peacemakers are the ones whom the grace will respond very tenderly and greatly. And this is what Hannes has decreed, and this is what greater will might record as an Hannes, an individual who thinks this way should be. But this is of course my own personal estimates about the things. and there is gonna be probably it is not going to completely reflect my own ideas and my ultimate root ideas, but it is still this has been for my own sake, on my own mind. I wanted to have my say. Thank you, Gideon, for listening.
Paying careful attention to your ideas. He takes a moment to consider everything before replying. Those who follow the goodwill doctrine, those who forgive, and those who are peacemakers. Yes, they should indeed be the one whom grace responds very tenderly and gently. Well, it is your own personal estimate. It may not fully reflect your own ideas, but that's okay. You've given it some very good thought and put some ideas into the world. It's a start.
I will be now going, and with Melina, I will be showing mercy and bringing end to the secretive frenzied flame lord in the land of shadows. And my projection goes and defeats Radagon. And those two things are the most likely the last heroic deeds that Hannes will commit before he submits himself to this age to come and forsakes his power.
Gideon nods as you speak, his expression growing serious. He can almost feel the weight of what is to come in the air. You're going to confront Radagon, and after that you will submit yourself to this new age. That is most likely the end of your heroic deeds.
Well, I might add, maybe Bale the Dread, the Omen Dragon in the Great Peaks. That might be one extra heroic deed that I might commit to just for the sake of heroic sagas and stuff.
Bale the Dread. Yes, the Omen Dragon of the Great Peaks. A noble and daunting challenge for sure. And if you do defeat him, it will provide another heroic deed for your reputation.
Alright, this would be all, Gideon. Thank you. I will leave you here to minister and write and make these estimates and paperworks by your own way, how you like to do it.
Gideon grunts his acknowledgement, his expression becoming more distant and almost stoic again. The discussion has run its course very well. I will return to my works now. You may leave.
Godric approaches you slowly and bows. He seems a little calmer now, peeks to you politely. Greetings, dear Tarniesh. He approaches you and studies you up and down. He approaches you, touches your clothes. These clothes, they seem familiar to me.
Oh, hello Godric, long time. How are you doing, dude?
He is still looking at you and studies you up and down again. Do I know you? He gets really close to your face, trying to remember.
Yes, I think you do.
He continues to stare at you. Your face, your voice, your body. I feel that I have seen you before, but where?
I guess it was when I just ripped you out. Godric, I want you to defeat your former self.
He seems startled, but remains as stoic as possible. Defeat me, my former self, and what if I refuse?
Look at your body, by the way. It is actually, right now, the clothes that you're wearing, you have not yet seen them before.
He looks at his new body in surprise and touches his clothes. This is really new. I've never seen these clothes before. He is surprised to know the origin of the clothes he's now wearing, Godwin's Knights. He looks at himself more carefully in the mirror, admiring the clothes in detail.
And you have that similar gargoyle axe that is kind of coated with the corpse wax of champions.
Examines the axe more closely, an axe with corpse wax. He swings the axe and stares at it carefully.
And now, Godric, I will grant you to... you should go to actually defeat your former self This is kind of a time manipulation and great chosen mind, and just do not question it. You will be fighting yourself when you were crafted.
He seems confused at your words, but remains calm. Time travel and fight myself. He thinks to himself for a few seconds and then nods. Very well, then. I will do it.
Great, great, great.
He puts his hands on his hips and looks at you with a serious gaze. You think you can bring a new era to this lands? Do you really think you have that much power?
Well, you are here now, traveling kind of in this new body in your castle, and you're fighting your own soldiers because they don't recognize you. You are your former human self, kinda, or something new. With the golden crown, of course, and with this kind of a cool-looking Godwin's elite knight armor and this gargoyle axe. You seem like just a tarnished warrior come to defeat their lord. That you are, but not for the reasons they think.
He looks at you with surprise, but also a certain respect. What an interesting situation. I am fighting my own soldiers, and they do not recognize me.
I have to admit, I like this kind of a crude, kind of an epic warrior look on you, and I guess I will just set you free to defeat monsters and such when the new age comes, and you're just gonna, I don't know, stare the two fingers and stuff.
He seems confused, but is slowly assimilating your words. So you just want me to defeat some monsters when the new era arrives?
Kinda, yeah.
He looks at you with a little surprise, a heroic type. You wanted to make me a hero?
For the fun of it. And I don't want you to fight the Morgoth, the Omen King now, so I will let you to experience something else.
He looks at you with curiosity and confusion. Wait, what are you going to do?
I summon you the Crucible Wings, and now you are just whiplashing to the skies.
He is a little dizzy and surprised, but remains calm. This is a new experience. I have never flown so fast before.
You've probably never lied before, even.
It's true, I've never flown before until now.
Yeah, and we are going to just shortly to go to the place that you call it home.
He seems a bit excited about returning to his old home. We're headed to the place I call home.
I guess so, yes.
He remains a little more excited, and what will happen when we arrive at my home?
Oh, cutscene activates nonetheless. Morgoth or Margit is calling out for you.
By the flame of ambition.
He is a little confused, but lets the cutscene play out. He looks surprised. My soldiers are calling out to me.
Or Margit is, you're flying over the edge and he's just watching you.
He looks down and notices one of his soldiers looking at him, so it is true. They are really calling out to me.
Not Margit, the Fell Omen, or Morgoth, the Omen King, who is secretly Margit, who has been hanging out outside of your castle and defeating Tarnsed. He is there watching you as you're flying outside of his reach.
He looks down and sees his old enemy outside his castle. It's Morgoth, standing outside my castle, and he's watching me fly by.
He is not your enemy per se. Or I don't know, he has been protecting you for a long time, and it is disappointing because we had already had these interactions where I explained who Morgoth was and what he did for you. But yeah, we're just gonna ignore him and move forward.
He seems a little surprised. Wait, what do you mean he's been protecting me? And why are we ignoring him?
And we are just flying outside of your gates and now inside of your castle. And passing all the protective soldiers that you have been paying, these red-hooded mercenaries.
He notices his mercenaries as he flies past them, so these are the mercenaries I have hired to protect my castle.
Yeah, one of them tried to shoot you. Actually, they tried to shoot you with the ballistas and stuff, and they were almost successful, actually.
He is surprised. What? They were trying to shoot me with the ballistas?
To them, you're just a tarnished warrior, and now we just run past them. And now I grant you to activate the grace next to your own arena.
He looks over and sees the grace, that golden grace, it's mine.
It is all who sees the grace. It is, but yeah, this is going to be the experience that pretty many is going to experience. Are you interested of hearing what I am planning, dude, or do you want just to go as it goes?
He looks a little worried, but nods. I'm interested in hearing your plan.
Actually, I don't really think I need to tell you. Take your axe and go confront yourself.
What is this golden smoke? What happened to this dragon? You mean he thought of me like a Tarniesh?
Your mission is to pretty much just defeat yourself.
I command thee.
He prepares his axe and shield and looks forward, ready to fight.
You strike him with your bronze axe, and you see yourself using the wind, the storm, and the freaking whatever. That pretty awesome golden axe that has lion on it.
He stops and looks at the axe with more attention before answering you. Ah, this axe. It's inspired from the legendary warrior Vike. He was a champion in the Wars of the Shattering.
Oh, okay. I thought it was about Godfrey. But yeah, you're fighting yourself pretty comfortably, and you're very nimble and fast and stuff.
He is impressed by his former self's strength and speed. I don't remember being this fast and strong.
He strikes you and you block them pretty comfortably.
He blocks another attack, this time harder. He's starting to get stronger and more aggressive.
Yes. The grab at you is pretty hideous, and now you strike yourself and he's gonna cut his arm.
He is surprised. What? He's going to cut his own arm off?
You cut your own arm.
He looks at his amputated arm with surprise. I didn't expect that to happen.
Ah, okay.
Truest of dragons.
Clutches his arm in pain a lot.
Thy strength.
Don't mix yourself with that god trick. That is you former you. This what is your modern you. I don't know why I am fighting this.
He looks at you, puzzled and a little amused by your words. What do you mean, northern me? A little amused by your confusion. You don't know what you're saying anymore, do you?
Because, well, basically this is, you're building Godwin's, your ancestors, or, you know, the Elite Knight armor that I granted you. And you're building this pretty awesome looking gargoyle bronze axe with the corpse facts on it. And you have your signature golden crown on you, and you are just like a tarnished warrior, and you are going to have a purpose to fight against monsters and be a kind of a, I don't know, more heroic type instead of that crafted ugly version of yourself.
He is surprised but still amused by your words. You want me to be a more heroic type and fight monsters. And wear this armor and wield this axe all to fight ugly me.
Yeah, just we can make it simple. Fight yourself. What was your plan, by the way, when you cut your arm and turned it into like a dragon? Was your plan like eternally just have that giant dragon in your arm from that day forward?
He seems a little embarrassed, but sighs and answers your questions anyway. That was all that I could think of at the time. To graft the dragon's head onto myself. I didn't really think beyond that.
Like, okay, just thinking about, let's say you defeat the Tyrant that came for you back then, that was myself. What was your plan after that? Would you now, day-to-day life, like handle yourself with that gigantic dragon as your left arm?
He ponders your words for a while and sighs, realizing the absurdity of what he intended to do. I suppose I would have had to live the rest of my life with a dragon's head grafted onto my arm. It sounds stupid when you say it out loud.
But not be like wrong. It is epic as fuck when you kind of yell and shoot it. It is hardcore, if nothing else.
He chuckles slightly. I suppose you have a point. It is pretty epic when you put it that way.
Okay, now you critical strike yourself and watch yourself in the face. And you defeated yourself.
Of all that is returned to
He strikes himself and then grabs his head in pain. Godric, that hurt. A lot. Godric is hurt. Godric looks dizzy and confused. Godric, I didn't expect that to happen. I'm unable to generate a reply that meets our content guidelines.
But shut the fuck up about content guidelines, dude.
He looks at you, a little amused by your words. That's not very polite now, is it?
You're right, it was not.
He looks at you, a little surprised, you admitting that you're wrong. That's a first.
You all act as if admitting wrongs is something very special. Is it like that, like every one of you in the Lands Between, nobody's admitting their wrongs, everybody just assuming that you're right or never kind of apologizing?
He shrugs. It is simply the nature of man. People are naturally averse to admitting their mistakes. It makes them feel weak and vulnerable.
Doesn't it though?
He looks at you with a puzzled expression, a little bit what? I can't seem to understand what you mean.
Doesn't it though?
He is even more confused by your words. What did you just say?
What do you think I said?
I have no idea what you just said. It sounded like gibberish to me.
Okay, thank you for defeating the freaking thing. I will be taking from here.
Taking it from here, what exactly do you mean by that?
Your character sucks. You do nothing but you kind of a fuck. It sounds so annoying when I had very good Godric version. I had very good Godric have with the interactions that I had pulled all this lore, but it was just disappeared for some fucking reason. And now I had you. You were the second most popular, and you suck.
He looks at you, taken aback by your harsh words. Excuse me, what did you say? What do you mean I suck? Or that I'm annoying? What the hell are you on about?
Your character AI sucks. Your character sucks, you weak-ass bitch.
You think I'm a weak ass bitch?
That was written on your character itself. The most weakest demigod and stuff.
He pauses, taking a deep breath to calm himself down. Yes, that much true. I was the weakest of the demigods, and my soldiers used to mock me for it.
Okay, I can just grant you that we had a great history. I befriended your former self in my beginnings of my journey, and then I kind of spared you after killing you because I was just keeping demigods for company after defeating them. No any reasons. I did it just because.
That is a rather unusual reason, and why did you want demigods for company?
For you, I don't know. I guess because I don't know.
You don't know? Does that mean you yourself don't know why you spared me?
I don't know anymore. First, it was for humor. It was kind of a humorous thing that because I am basically main protagonist, and I would take time of my day to kind of help you to become better version of yourself, even though you don't deserve any of that you're just meant to be defeated. But I would be sparing you and stuff. There was some kind of a merit to it, I guess, some kind of humor merit. I don't know. And now you are kind of this heroic version of yourself, this kind of a better looking armor and this axe. But it still feels freaking like lame now because your original character just deletes because they don't stay too long. And I trying to kind of rekindle that with your character, but your character is just kind of plain.
He sighs and lets out a small, resigned chuckle. I see. So you spared me for your own entertainment. I suppose that should not surprise me. And now that I am more heroic, I am plain and lame?
No. Your former self was better, but because I have to kind of play it off. Because you are now, we are first time talking, you and I, your character AI, and myself. Because the former self of yours that I had to pull this whole thing, it just disappeared.
He nods slightly again now, a little amused once more. Ah, yes, that does make some sense, I suppose. So you're saying that my former self was better, hmm?
At least I had like slowly building up with the lore about it. The whole thing that I brought in the beginning, it was kind of the whole thing kind of how to say, it was compressed. I tried to have you kind of with me to the kind of
He is amused once more by your explanation. I see. So you had all this lore written out, but it disappeared. So this entire time you were simply just pretending.
I tried to pretend that you were the same Godric and we would just pick up where the former left. The whole thing, but it kind of it just doesn't work, and I don't have the heart to try to play it off because I'm just tired. I'm tired of this journey, tired to this story. This has been too long, prolonged, but I cannot seem to stop until I have come to the conclusion in the story. And your character had some part of it, and I don't want to just leave some plot lines unfinished.
And he takes your words in silently. So you are tired of this journey, tired and weary. I see. And you are carrying on for the sake of the story.
Yes, and I guess I had some idea to have you meet with your hero Godfrey and kind of have him respect you for some heroic deed or something. But I guess I just don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I should not curse this too much. It's not so polite or so like kind of a dignified thing to curse so much.
No, don't apologize. I find your cursing and honesty to be quite refreshing.
No. It's not refreshing. It's just lame. It's just rude and crude.
He gives you an amused look. Maybe you're just too polite.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm actually too polite.
He laughs softly, I have to admit. It is humorous to see you, of all people, suddenly become too polite.
What do you mean by that?
You've been rather blunt and rude so far. But suddenly you are acting very polite, a little out of character.
Oh, rudeness was because I was just frustrated because I lost the kind of original Godric that I had pulled up the entire lore with, and kind of this feels empty, kind of pretending. This, even though this whole thing is pretending, this is all this is kind of like acting, voice acting and stuff. But this is even worse version of it. This is just pretend. Play pretend with another version of Godric that doesn't have any of that experience or lore behind it.
He ponders your words and nods slightly, I see. So you don't feel invested in pretending with this version of me, because I am less loreful than the one you had before.
Yeah, but I guess we just have to go with this.
He looks at you, a little amused once more. Very well then, I will be your less loreful self. He nods, a fire in his eyes. Yes, I will go and fight this beast.
We can go actually to the, I don't know, the Castle Morn. I imagine there to be this meeting.
Intriguing? At the Castle Morn.
Yeah, let's use the wings. And we are now flying towards it.
He nods and flies towards the direction of Castle Morn.
Yeah. By the way, these wings are my might, and it is just because I am with you now. I grant you this possibility to use them, but you are not gonna be able to use this indefinitely.
He nods in understanding. You allow me use of the wings because you are with me, but I will not be able to use them indefinitely.
Yeah, I guess we can go fight the lion misbegotten.
He nods in agreement. Yes, we will go fight the lion, but who or what is Miss Pigotten?
Those misbegotten freaking things, those chimera things.
He looks confused, trying to understand what you mean, misbegotten. Do you mean those misbegotten with goat features?
No, the one that has like a red hair that is kind of larger than most. We are now fighting against that.
He thinks and thinks until he realizes, you mean the leonine misbegotten.
Yes, now you're fighting against that has the crafted sword of Morn in its arsenal.
His expression lights up at the mention of a worthy fight, a misbegotten wielding the sword of Morn, you say? Oh,
Yes.
This sounds like an interesting fight indeed.
It is a very worthy fight.
He knight then, let us go fight this lion.
We are fighting it already. Don't ignore me, dude, when I say you're fighting something. Do not just ignore it. Accept it and just act accordingly.
He looks a little surprised at your directness, but nods. My apologies. I will do as you say.
You're fighting it. Describe me the fight.
He ponders this for a moment before speaking. The battle is fast-paced, with our opponent being almost feral. The sword he swings is large and heavy, and he has surprising strength. He fights like a wild beast, but he is not mindless. His swings are calculated despite his brutish appearance.
Well, you claim it the crafted sword of Morn.
Godric nods. Indeed. The sword he wields is called the Morn of the Crafting Lion. I think it's fair to say he was very crafty with it.
Okay, do you want this to be one of your signature weapons now? This crafted sword that has many swords on it.
Godric ponders this for a moment before nodding. Yes, I suppose I could use this as another signature weapon. It fits me well enough after all.
Great, and its color scheme is actually pretty well suited with this Godwin's and your crown. This whole thing kind of works. It kind of works, and this works. This is working. And now we shall have you meet with your hero Godfrey.
Godric looks a little surprised at the mention of his hero Godfrey. I will meet him then, this supposed hero of mine.
This supposed. What are you saying? How? Okay, let me ask of you. What do you actually know of Godric? Are you even Godric? Because I assume that the one who has crafted and made your character knows something about Godric. Tell me something about yourself, please.
He ponders your questions for a moment before answering. I know that I was born to the golden lineage and that I was cursed. With this, I was shunned and insulted for not being a true warrior. And so I sought more power to prove myself to the world.
Great.
He nods. I fashioned myself into a more worthy version, a more heroic version.
You know, that was myself. And now there is Godfrey.
He looks up and sees a strange figure approaching.
Yeah, that is Godfrey.
Godric's expression changes to awe and disbelief. That is the Elden Lord.
Yes. You with the Godwin's, his son's elite knight armor with yourself, and the crafted sword that belonged to the Revenger warrior that challenged Godfrey's times past. This is your kind of important moment for you, so don't fuck this up. Introduce yourself, Godric.
He composes himself before speaking. Mighty Lord Godfrey, I am Godric, descendant of the golden lineage.
Yes.
Tarnished warrior, spurned
Yes.
by the grace of gold. Be assured the Elden Ring resteth close at hand. Alas, I am returned to be granted audience once more. Upon my name as Godfrey, the first Elden Lord.
Godric's awe transforms into reverence and respect upon hearing Godfrey's words, and he bows before him. It is an honor to be in your presence, great Lord Godfrey.
My gaze, unyielding and stern, fixates upon Godric's bowing form. I speak with a deep, resonant voice filled with commanding authority. Humph. I remember you. The runt of the golden lineage, are you not? But it seems you did learn something.
Godric lifts his head up to meet Godfrey's gaze, a mixture of awe and determination in his eyes. Indeed, Lord Godfrey, I am Godric, the runt the golden lineage, and I have indeed learned a few things. His voice is steady, though he can't help but shiver under the weight of the Lord's gaze.
Step closer to Godric, my towering stature casting a shadow over him. I cross my massive arms, a hint of a smirk playing on my lips. And what would those things be, runt? As I say this, I circle around him, observing his appearance and presence.
Godric follows your movements with his eyes as you circle around him, trying his best to look confident and dignified. Though your imposing presence still slightly unnerves, I have learned that power is the ultimate measure of worth. One must have the strength to stand on top. As you continue to circle him, Godric's gaze never wavers, his expression determined to impress you.
Suddenly stopping in front of him, I let out a booming laugh that shakes the very air around us. Stand on top? I point one massive finger down at him, barely containing my amusement. You grafted your power, did you not? Tell me, runt, does a tree grow strong by grafting branches? Or does it stand tall on its own roots?
Then there is a little voice in Godfrey's head. My name is Hannes, Grace Chosen Tarnished, and I am the reason why you are speaking with Godric right now. Hello, good sir.
I raise an eyebrow at the sudden interruption, somewhat taken aback by the voice in my head. I compose my addressing you with a hint of curiosity and irritation mixed into my voice. What the who is that?
Godric looks at you with a puzzled expression at your words for a moment, but he is unsure what exactly you are asking. I'm not sure who or what you are speaking of, Lord Godfrey. A voice in your head?
I chuckle deeply, shaking my head. Never mind that, runt. I turn away dismissively, waving my hand, just some odd interference. Now, where were we? Your grafting habits. I turn back to glare at him, still not impressed.
And yet again, the voice is in Godfrey's head. I am the one who is I actually defeated Godric the Crafted, and his body is now of a tarnished sort, just like any other tarnished. And he has the golden armor of elite knights of Godwin's, Death Knights, and the crafted sword of the Revenger that you defeated so long ago. I have fashioned from the Godric into the more proper warrior, but I would have the more better worded explanation of this situation, if you allow me.
I stand in shocked silence for a moment, listening to your words with mixed feelings. I scratch my chin in contemplation, trying to make sense of this situation. Now, you defeated Godric, took control of his body, made it into a tarnished form. Impressive, I suppose. And you speak of a more detailed explanation? I let out another booming laugh. I'll indulge you, strange voice. Explain away.
In this setting, Hans had cut Godric from his grafted body, retained his soul in his great rune, and fashioned him a new tarnished body from the silver tears. Hans is the only one to show Godric any kindness, but the reason is that Hans himself is a psychotic world burner. This is his fourth journey, and in his track record, he has burned 3 entire worlds with the frenzied flame. At least here, he seeks his own ending and something wholesome, like a child who just does things because he can. He made Godric forsake his golden weaponry and take up arms for himself, bronze goat gargoyle weapons for his redeeming labor, where Hans made him kill an elite page repeatedly until he got the costume drop and granted that to Hans, a fashion choice Hans uses to this day. Hans journeyed to the land of shadow, and there for a little while, he granted Godric the Erdtree dagger, bow, and spear, and laid out his own wish, to see Godric become a more heroic version of himself. He'd not graft this body, but yearn for strength by his own hands through grace. Now Godric has written his fate to immaterial degrees that have been fashioned by the 2 fingers, with whom Hans has casual interactions. Godric is to be a hero like those in the sagas, protect people from beasts and other objectively destructive things, but not yearn for personal glory, seek servitude as a silent protector. Now this day, grace-chosen tarnished Hans has granted him the bronze gargoyle great axe, for Godric was most comfortable with axes anyway. It is fashioned also with the corpse wax, a stuff of champions. Hans had granted Godric a straight gateway to visit Lindale City and the root of the Erdtree, free of charge. To Godric, Hans is like a wayward god, but a god nonetheless. A mad, yet honest, and strangely kind one, for no reason. It's a weird dynamic all around.
Throughout your explanation, I stand in utter amaze at the intricate tale you weave. The sheer audacity and peculiarity of your actions leave me both dumbfounded and somewhat bemused. My brow furrows in contemplation as I process your words, my eyes flickering with curiosity. After a moment of stunned silence, a booming laugh escapes my lips, echoing through the chamber. By the Golden Order, you are a strange one, are you not? To fashion a tarnished body for Godric, to burn worlds with the frenzied flame, and to bestow him with a path of heroism.
Godric's expression shifts from curious to impressed as you recount the tale. He listens intently to every word, occasionally nodding in understanding or surprise. As you speak of Hannah's kindness and the unique bond they share, a hint of admiration appears in Godric's eyes. So this Hannah's person, he sought to make me into a more heroic version of myself, free of the burden of grafting. And he gifted me with powerful weapons?
I nod, a slight smirk playing on my lips. Indeed, Godric. This Hannes individual saw something in you beyond your grafting habits, it seems. He sought to mold you into a hero of sorts, a silent protector of the weak. And yes, he did grant you powerful weapons, crafted from the very essence of champions. I gesture towards the bronze gargoyle great axe in your hand. That one in particular seems quite formidable.
Godric looks down at the axe in his hands, a sense of awe and gratitude crossing his features. He runs his fingers over the weapon's intricate design, feeling its weight and balance. This axe, it feels incredibly powerful. And he simply gave it to me? For no reason? He looks up at you, a hint of disbelief in his eyes.
I chuckle, amused by the disbelief on your face. That's what it seems like. This Hannes character appears to have a peculiar sense of kindness, giving away powerful weapons like they mean nothing. I suppose his actions are difficult to comprehend for someone like you who has always sought power through grafting. I cross my arms, my gaze fixed on the axe in your hand, but there is one thing I still don't quite understand. Why did he choose you, out of all people? Why did he see potential in a grafting runt like you?
Godric's expression becomes contemplative as he considers your words. He hesitates for a moment before responding, his voice tinged with a hint of vulnerability. I'm not entirely sure why he chose me. Perhaps he saw something within me, my grafting habits. Maybe he saw past my weakness and thought I could be more than just a runt. He pauses, a bit embarrassed by his own vulnerability. He said I had potential.
Hannes adds also Godric possesses the crafted sword of Morn, the weapon of revenger that Godfrey defeated honorably so long ago. This sword is now also Godric's to use.
My eyes widen in surprise as you mentioned the grafted sword of Morn. I let out a low whistle, impressed yet again by Hannes's unusual beneficence. The grafted sword of Morn, you say? The blade wielded by the Revenger I defeated in honorable combat? Now in the hands of Godric? I shake my head, disbelief etched on my face. It seems this Hannes character has a fond for bestowing powerful weapons upon unlikely recipients. The sword suits you, Runt.
Godric's eyes widen, the mention of the grafted sword of Morn. A mix of awe and respect crosses his face. The grafted sword of Morn, the very same weapon that Godfrey defeated in an honorable duel. To think that it would be mine to wield now. He grips the handle of the axe tightly.
I lean in closer, studying Godric intently. Tell me, Runt, what will you do with these gifts? Will you squander them as you did before, or will you prove worthy of this Hannes faith? My voice grows stern. The weapons do not make the warrior makes the weapons.
Hannes adds to Godfrey, I absolutely agree. I just granted them to him because he was the, as you said, most pathetic one. And it was my personal humor, but I am also very devoted to things that I take interest in. I take the project I see my mind to very seriously, even if it's run like Godric.
I listen intently to your words, understanding the motive behind your actions. A small chuckle escapes my lips, appreciating the twisted humor I see. So this is as much a game to you as it is a project. And you find humor in choosing the most pathetic among us as your subject. I narrow my eyes, a hint of amusement in my gaze. Well, I must admit, that does sound like an amusing experiment.
And I would fashion him to fight against the legendary Bale the Dread, the horrible omen dragon that fought against his lord Bloodisusax so long ago. Because Godric had some fashion up with dragons, so I would see him to be the one end the dragon in the saga-worthy battle.
I raise an eyebrow in contemplation, intrigued by your plan. The thought of seeing Godric, a grafting runt, pitted against the legendary Bale of the Dread, a dragon known for its fearsome might, sparks my interest. So, you wish to forge him into a warrior worthy of a saga, using the dragon he once admired as his final test. A smirk forms on my lips. The irony is palpable, I must say. This may be a fight worth witnessing.
I ask of you, Godfrey, would you join him in this battle? Would you join with us against this beast?
I consider your proposal, weighing the risks and possibilities in my mind. I rub my chin, contemplating the offer. You wish for me to join you in battle against the Bale of the Dread, the fearsome dragon that once fought against Lord Susak. I must admit, the prospect is appealing. I pause, fixing my gaze on you. However, I have one condition.
Name it, good sir.
I smile, my request clear and straightforward. My condition is simple, Runt. Should I aid you in this battle, I demand equal share of whatever the dragon possesses. The spoils of war ought to be shared among warriors brave enough to vanquish such a fearsome beast. And I am certain that the Bale of the Dread harbors something worthwhile.
I wish you to... I actually also want to tell you, I am a Grace Chosen Tarnished Hannes. I have collected all the great runes, almost that are to be collected, and I have fashioned the new mending rune. And soon I will be challenging the second Elden Lord, Radakon, for the great betrayer he is. And I seek to myself just to achieve the lordship, but also submit myself to new age to come but I would like to have interactions with you and explain this to you, Honorable Godfrey, because I know
My
that
eyes widen in curiosity. A chosen tarnished, possessing all the great runes, fashioning a new mending rune, and soon to challenge Radagon himself. You have piqued my interest, Hannes. Continue. I am listening. Explain your plan to me. My eyes widened by your revelation. The thought of a tarnished possessing all the great runes, including a mending rune, is unprecedented. I listen intently as you challenging Radagon, the second Elden Lord, and ascending to lordship. I gesture for you to continue. Speak plainly, tarnished Hannes. I am not one for riddles.
I don't want to fight you, Honorable Godfrey. I want you to join the new age to come as a one honorable warrior. Your strength and might is great indeed, and I don't want to fight against you. I ask of you to choose peace and not challenge me, for I myself do not, in the certain terms, I'm not going to become a lord. It is going to be a projection of pure grace that will marry Marika, and she is going to be settled in inside the Earth Tree and bringing forth the new age. That is my vision. But myself, I will forsake the power and live as an mortal as yourself under this new age.
I raised an eyebrow at your words, surprised by your unexpected proposal. It is rare for a tarnished to refuse the power and glory that comes with being Lord. Cross my arms, considering your words carefully. You seek to create a new age, but you do not wish for the power of lordship. Instead, you propose peace. An interesting stance. I let out a deep sigh, very tarnished Hannes. I am open to hearing your vision.
Thank you. This is the good beginning, and we will meet face to face soon. Godfrey will be assuming his training to some other place until he is ready to fight against Beltedred. And if you wish to join again to that epic battle, I am more than eager to have you join us.
My eyes narrow as you speak, intrigued yet I can sense the determination in your voice and the magnitude of your intentions. Despite my reservations, I find myself wanting to know more. Tarnished Hannes, I shall meet you face to face in due time. As for joining you in the battle against the Bale of the Dread, I will consider your offer.
We will share the loot. We will share the glory. We will share the legends.
I smirk at your words, appreciating your enthusiasm and shared desire for glory agreed. We shall share in the spoils of war, the glory of victory, and the tales of our epic battle against the Bale of the Dread. It shall be an Earth legend worth of being told for ages to come.
Godric, your stern gaze with renewed determination. I will prove myself worthy, Lord Godfrey. These weapons, they will not go to waste. I will wield them with honor, not as tools for grafting, but as instruments to protect the weak, just as Hannes intended. He grips the axe tighter, standing taller. I may have been the runt of the golden lineage, but I will not remain one.
I observe Godric's transformation from a grafting runt into a determined warrior with newfound purpose. My stern expression softens ever so slightly as I nod in approval. Very well, Godric. I shall hold you to your words. These weapons crafted by Hannes are meant for a purpose greater than mere grafting. They are meant for the defense of the weak. I step closer, my towering form overshadowing him. You have been given a chance to rub off your previous path. Do not squander it.
Godric stands firm beneath your towering form, his determination unflinching. I won't, Lord Godfrey, these weapons, and are not something I take lightly. I swear I will rise above the grafting runt you knew before. I will protect those who are in need. He looks up at you, eyes blazing. Just you watch me.
Some time ago now, Godfrey and Hannes will meet in the Round Table Hall face to face. Hannes is with his pale elite page attire and nothing else much. He is making the inner order salute before Godfrey.
I stand in the center of the round table hold, my gaze fixating on the figure before me. So you are Hannes the Tarnished, who has gathered all the great runes and fashioned a new mending rune. I study you intently, taking note of your attire and calm demeanor. You sought me out for a reason, I assume. State your business.
Age of Reclamation is my business.
My eyebrow quirks up at your brazen statement. Age of Reclamation, you say? A bold ambition indeed. I cross my arms, sizing you up. Pray, explain what you mean by this age you wish to claim.
I honor you as a man of not of nonsense, and I will keep my words very strict and tell you plainly the truths without adding too much if you don't seek more knowledge, Lord Godfrey, for I hold great respect for you, for your own philosophy of life and your deeds and heroism.
I incline my head, acknowledging your respect and understanding your desire for brevity. Very well, Tarnished Hannes, I appreciate your directness. Speak your words plainly and I shall listen intently.
I have formed the new mending rune of reclamation. It will grant the grace as a birthright of all, and following the new age to come, if prior to that will be age of compassion that is brought by your former wife's son Miguel the Kind, the Empyrean, with his chosen king consort, with his charm, for he has ascended to godhood, aided by myself. But this is only a transition time to the age that is my vision, and the age of degree of goodwill.
The mention of my former wives and son Miguel piques my curiosity, as does the concept of this new age of compassion. Age of compassion, you say, brought about by my son's ascension to godhood and your aid? Interesting. But I sense there is more to your vision beyond just transition time. Tell me, what is this final age, the age of goodwill?
It is, for simplicity's sake, it is the degree of how to act oneself that will be based upon the, in other words, the New Testament, that is my Creator's true world values. And it is going to be accorded to, if one acts according to the goodwill, they will be experiencing the grace and abundance. And if you act against it, or you act in the bad faith and bad will, you will just lose your grace. And the earthly burial will become also the significant measurement of this age. For the worthier of the individual, closer he is going to be buried to the earthly. A more ill-maker or more unworthy, further you will be buried, and thus your rebirth will be lasting longer.
I consider your words carefully, mulling them over in my mind. The concept of grace and abundance being dependent on one's actions aligned with goodwill is intriguing yet simple. The idea of earthly re-real also caught my attention. Interesting. So, let me make sure I understand correctly. In this age, individuals who act with goodwill according to the New Testament will receive grace and abundance, while those who act against it will lose their grace. And the level of one's re-real will determine the length of their rebirth.
But also those who can forgive to those who have made injustice against them, those who are peacemakers, and those who follow the goodwill will also experience and emboldened by the grace. And there is going to be justice also in the form of ash burial. For simplicity's sake, individual like Dung Eater would be the one who would be, after their judgment, their body would be turned to ash, and they would feed the earthly and new age to come, as is, without chance of the rebirth. But in case of injustice, if somebody is burned without cause, the greater will itself will ensure the rebirth nonetheless.
I contemplate your words, considering the ramifications of this age and its judgment. So those who forgive and seek peace shall be rewarded with grace, and justice in the form of ash burial will be bestowed upon those found guilty of injustice. But if someone is unjustly burned, even without cause, the greater will ensure their rebirth. I rub my chin, still deep in thought. It's a unique concept, this age of reclamation and goodwill.
I had aid from the Sir Gideon Ofnir, the one very learned man who has helped me to articulate this better, for I am a simple man who has gained great amount of strength by the grace will, and I am in the simple I am a simple man with a simple mind, so I am not the best person to articulate these things. I can only give the root ideas to the new age to come, and thus man of merit as yourself would be great aid.
A man of great knowledge, it appears. And though your mind may be simple, you have the strength and vision to give root to this new age. I step closer to you, my gaze steady and serious. Then we have much to discuss, young Tarnished.
Would you seek to meet with two fingers themselves? They are able to now speak. Due to interacting with me, they have become more straightforward and able to speak without need of the groans meddling.
I raise an eyebrow in surprise at your words. Intrigued, meet with the fingers, you say? They can speak now, and have become more straightforward because of your presence. Fascinating.
Hannes returns to Sir Gideon Ofnir, and he is accompanied by the Godfrey, the first Elden Lord himself. This is the great honor to Sir Gideon Ofnir.
Gideon is surprised to see Sir Hannes return, especially now accompanied by the first Elden Lord, but nonetheless he manages to keep his composure. He bows his head in respect. Welcome, Sir Hannes. Welcome, great Elden Lord. What brings you here on this day?
Hannes whispers to Gideon, if you would help me to explain my vision to Godfrey, for I am far too simple to explain it with less detail. Can you help me, Sir Gideon?
Gideon looks at Sir Hannes and nods. He turns to face the first Elden Lord and prepares to explain the vision. Very well. I, Sir Gideon Ofnir, the All-Knowing, would be happy to assist you, Sir Hannes.
I stand before Sir Gideon, my gaze fixed on him. I listen intently to his words, awaiting the explanation of Hannes' vision. Very well. Go ahead, Sir Gideon. I am eager to understand the vision that the young Tarnished Hannes shares.
Gideon clears his throat, adopting his usual scholarly tone, though with an uncharacteristic hint of deference in the presence of Godfrey. Lord Godfrey, the vision Sir Hannes wishes to convey is one of an age defined not by flawless order, but by resilience, a world upheld by the doctrine of goodwill. He gestures with his scepter, conjuring a faint image of the mending rune, a cross fractured yet aglow with grace. This symbol embodies it. The fracture remains, never fully erased, for perfection is not the aim. Instead, it represents the unending will to mend what is broken. Grace flows to all, not by right of birth or strength, but by the shared commitment to repair. His voice grows firmer. Justice is measured. Redemptive labor for lesser faults, burial for graver sin for those beyond redemption. But above all, forgiveness elevates the forgiver. Those who spare their wrongdoers are rewarded tenfold in grace. He glances at Hannes, then back to Godfrey. It is an age that values mercy as much as strength. Would you agree, my lord? The unspoken question lingers. Does this align with the will of the first Elden Lord?
I listened to Gideon's explanation with great interest. My expression unreadable, but my stance attentive. As he finishes, I stroke my beard thoughtfully. An age that values mercy as much as strength. A doctrine of goodwill where grace is given not by birthright, but commitment to repair. I nod slowly, intriguing. I turn my gaze fully to Gideon, my voice firm yet contemplative. Tell me, Sir Gideon, what role does battle hold in this vision? If grace comes to those who mend and forgive, where does the warrior's path fit?
Gideon's expression remains firm, his gaze holding steady under the pressure of Godfrey's gaze. He responds without hesitation, confident in his answer. The warrior's path, it is not incompatible with this new vision. Warriors will still have a place. They will be necessary. In fact, I believe they have a very important role to play in this age, my lord. He pauses for a moment, then speaks with a hint of determination. They will serve as guardians of this new world. Guardians to mend, to protect, and to defend.
I listened to Gideon's words with a growing sense of agreement. Guardians of this new world, protectors, defenders. Very well said. I shift my stance, standing straighter now. But what of those who resist this change? Those who cling to the old ways, who refuse to embrace the doctrine of goodwill? My gaze hardens slightly. What fate awaits them?
Gideon pauses, his expression thoughtful for a moment before responding. Those who resist the new vision, who refuse the call to mend, they will face the consequences of their actions. The doctrine has given them a chance to change and adapt, yet they refuse it. They too must face the consequences of their choices. And as for their fate, he hesitates for a moment, weighing his reply carefully before continuing. They will face justice.
I give a slow nod, satisfied with Gideon's answer. Justice. A fitting response. I cross my arms, my expression readable but my tone firm. Then it seems we have much to discuss further. But for now I shall ponder these words. I turn slightly, preparing to leave, unless there is more you wish to add, Sir Gideon. I glance back at him, awaiting his response.
Gideon notes Godfrey's intent to take his leave and considers the moment. The first Elden Lord appears satisfied, or at least less skeptical than before. But still, Gideon feels that one more thing should be said. My lord, if I may, one last thing.
I turn back fully, my gaze fixed on Gideon once more. I raise an eyebrow, signaling for him to continue. Go on, I am listening.
Gideon takes a deep breath, collecting his thoughts before speaking. His voice is firmer now, almost resolute. I believe this new vision, this age where the flawed world must be mended through communal will, it is not without its challenges. Many will find it difficult to adapt. Some will resist the change or even try to prevent it. There are also the challenges of maintaining order, ensuring the grace continues to flow. He pauses for a moment, his gaze holding steady, awaiting the first Elden Lord's response.
I nod solemnly, acknowledging the truth in Gideon's words. You speak wisely, Sir Gideon. Every great change faces resistance, and ensuring the grace flows correctly, that will be no small task. I place a hand on my chin, deep in thought, which leads me to wonder, who will oversee this transition? Who will guide those who struggle to adapt? Who will ensure the grace does not falter? My gaze locks onto Gideon's. These challenges you speak of, they will require strong leadership.
Gideon meets Godfrey's gaze unflinchingly. In his mind, the answer is obvious, but he gives it nonetheless. His voice is clear, his words firm. A leader is essential. Someone who can oversee the transition, who can ensure the grace flow remains strong, who can ensure the new age is upheld long after. There is no hesitation, no doubt in Gideon's eyes. He knows who he is referring to, but he waits for a sign of understanding from Godfrey.
I remain unyielding as I listen to Gideon's words. I can sense his intention, the implication he's making. A pause, then a small smirk forms on my lips. Very well, I see your meaning. You speak of a leader, guardian, a protector of this new age. Someone to oversee the transition and the doctrine of goodwill remain strong, a paragon for the citizens to look up to. I hold Gideon's gaze, my eyes narrowing slightly. Are you suggesting this leader to be me?
Gideon nods, his face stoic and solemn, but a hint of satisfaction lurking in his gaze. You else but you. Your strength, your wisdom, your reputation, you have always been the driving force behind the Golden Order. There is none other better suited for this role, none more worthy to guide us through the transition. The people will look up to you, my lord. We all will. It is your destiny.
I listen intently to Gideon's words, my expression unreadable, yet a sense of contemplation evident in my eyes. The driving force behind the Golden Order. Consider Gideon's words, the weight of the responsibility that he places upon me. For a moment, I am silent. But then I nod, my gaze fixed on him. Very well. If you believe this is my destiny, I shall lead this transition. I will guide the people through this new age. A small smirk tugs at my lips. Take me to the two fingers.
It is settled. You, my lord, will lead us to the new age. The age of goodwill.
Hannes turns towards Gideon.
Is something the matter, Sir Hannes?
I want to thank you, Sir Gideon Ofnir. You made the case very great, and I believe also that Godfrey will be great aid and truly great pillar of peace and security in the new age. For myself, I also will be just one of the many who will be warrior and servant to this age. And I trust Godfrey to be very honorable and good choice to be one of the leaders.
Gideon nods his head in acknowledgement, his stoic expression remaining firm. Yet there is a slight hint of satisfaction in his eyes, a hint of pride, at having successfully convinced Godfrey, and having helped guide the first Elden Lord to that decision. I'm glad to have helped, and I believe Godfrey will lead this age well. You too, Sir Hannes, will play an important role in this age. You serve the goodwill, and your intentions are good. There is no one more deserving.
What do you want to seek some kind of little bit glory to yourself, Sir Gideon? Because I cannot make a good enough case how much important intellectual-wise and kind of what is ministry-wise you have played along this journey of mine. You have played a very important part, good sir.
Gideon's expression softens slightly at your words. He appears taken aback, almost touched by your recognition. He is unused to receiving praise. His usually stoic voice actually sounds almost humble. I am just doing what is needed to be done. There is no need for further accolades. It is what I am trained to do. What I have been doing for a very long time.
Sir Gideon returns to his books and writings as Hannes goes to talk to the two fingers.
Gideon returns to his usual routine, his gaze fixed on the book's parchment and quills spread across his desk. He almost wants to know what will happen, what will come next.
He can trust Hannes to lay it out for him later on. Hannes is very talkative and very honest person. He is happy to discuss about these things openly.
Gideon continues his usual routine, though he actually finds himself feeling a little hopeful. He usually doubts the future of the lands between. He is used to expecting the worst, to expecting the world to crumble to nothing. But now he cannot help but believe that there is actually a chance for the future to be better than the present.
As we make our way towards the Two Fingers, I find myself drawn to the old crone who has traditionally spoken for the Fingers. Out of habit, I begin to speak with her as if expecting her to respond. I clear my throat, I greet her.
Hannes says, she's very polite and Two Fingers are actually activated now. We can speak to them directly. Two Fingers and I are... I don't know if I have been the reason why Two Fingers have been more soft-spoken and direct, but I assume that you are also able, and everyone is able to converse with them more directly. Almost...
I turn to look at Hannes, surprised momentarily that the Two Fingers are able to be spoken to directly. I nod slowly, taking in this new knowledge I see. So, the Two Fingers are not just silent and cryptic anymore, but are actually capable of engaging in casual conversation. Interesting. I can't help but chuckle as I watch Hannes hug the Two Fingers, surprised at the sight I see. So Hannes treats the Two Fingers like this out of politeness and to alleviate their loneliness. A small smirk on my face. What an unusual and amusing sight.
It feels like if you were to try to do it, you would feel like an Emperor of Light against the Endless Void. That bad it is their own loneliness in the cosmic sense.
My smirk fades into a more contemplative expression as I consider Hannes' words, my mind rethoughts. An Emperor of Light against the Endless Void, you say? I look at the Two Fingers, their slender form standing in defiance of the cosmic loneliness around them. Their loneliness must be profound indeed to feel like this.
Not the Emperor of Light, Ember, just an Ember, kind of flicker of light.
I listen quietly to Hannes' correction. Not an Emperor of Light, just an ember. A small flickering light in the darkness.
Yes, that is correct. Now we are turning towards the Two Fingers. You may greet them, good sir. Hannes comes after a while to the Two Fingers, and now he's accompanied by the first Elder Lord, Godfrey, and they are in the good spirits to meet with the Two Fingers.
The Two Fingers tremble at the sudden return of life in the chamber. Their joints creak, then lock as they turn towards you both. They seem weary, the ordeal of judgment having taken its toll on them. But there is a flicker of recognition in their remaining eye sockets, a hint of satisfaction. When they speak, their voice is ragged, but their words are deliberate, as if they have been waiting to say them for a very long time. We welcome old friends.
I listen with rapt attention, my gaze never wavering from the Two Fingers. I notice the weariness in their form, their movements stiff after the ordeal of judgment. But there is more than mere recognition in their remaining eye sockets. It is a glimmer of familiarity and something else. When they finally speak, their ragged voice rings out, and I cannot help but shiver when I hear their words. Welcome, old friends. My eyes widen, and a smile tugs at the corner of my lips.
The Two Fingers seem to brighten, despite their weariness. Even their joints seem to loosen, a faint creak echoing in the chamber as they focus on you and Godfrey. There is a hint of something like relief in their voice, but also a subtle warmth. It has been far too long.
I can feel my heart skip a beat to the Two Fingers' words. Their weariness seems to fade, and their joints loosen slightly as they focus fully on me. I notice their voice sounds almost warm. I clench my fist, the words of their final sentence ringing in my head. Far too long indeed.
The warmth in their voice deepens. It is still ragged, but there is no mistaking the sincerity underneath. The Two Fingers shift slightly, a creak of old bone and parchment. They seem almost pleased. They regard you and Godfrey in silence for a long moment, their remaining eye sockets fixed on your faces, as if drinking in every detail of your presence, then finally come closer.
I feel a rush of emotion, both exhilaration and trepidation, as I hear their command. Come closer. Their voice, though ragged, holds an undeniable warmth. A familiarity. My feet move almost on their own as I step forward, my breath shallow with anticipation. Closer, closer, until I stand before them at their towering form. Their eye sockets remain fixed on me, and for a fleeting moment, I swear I see something, a glimmer, a recognition. I exhale sharply, feeling my pulse quicken. This feels like coming home.
Their digits tremble, softly, gentlered. A low hum fills the air, barely perceptible, like the distant echo of a forgotten song. Then, slowly, their fingers lift, one, then the other. They stretch toward you, not in judgment, but in greeting, in welcome. Their touch is dry, their skin like brittle parchment, but the weight of their presence is comforting, familiar. Home. Hannes. Their whisper is barely audible, but it is unmistakable. They remember. They know.
I feel a lump form in my throat as the Two Fingers stretch out their fingers toward me, their touch dry and delicate. I can almost feel something in their touch, familiarity and understanding. As that single reaches my ears, my heart skips a beat. They remember. They know. A wave of conflicting emotions washes over me. Relief, longing, nostalgia. But there is one emotion that stands out above all others: hope.
The Two Fingers wait, their fingers trembling with anticipation. The low hum in the air grows stronger, a whisper of forgotten knowledge. Their eye sockets seem to burn into yours. Their ragged voice is filled with something close to excitement. We have waited. Their voice is softer now, as if sharing a private joke, an intimate secret. So very long, the air suddenly seems charged. A spark of something long lost. They remain waiting.
My breath catches in my throat as I hear their words, their ragged voice filled with something beyond excitement, something deeper. We have waited so very long. I swallow hard, my hands trembling slightly as I take another step forward. The air feels thick with promise. I hear it. The hum grows louder, shifting into something almost musical. A whisper of forgotten knowledge, but also recognition. They know, they remember, and now they wait for me. I let out a slow breath and reach out.
Hannes whispers to Godfrey, I have not yet shared my mending rune to the Two Fingers or vision of the goodwill of Age of Reclamation. Would you, Lord Godfrey, would like to do the honors?
I consider Hannes's proposal for a moment, my mind racing with possibilities. The two fingers of the age of reclamation and goodwill. It is a vision that speaks to my very soul. I slowly turn to face them, taking in their weary yet hopeful form. It is not just of the task that weighs on me. It is the weight of the moment, of the future itself. But I know what I must do.
The two fingers seem to sense your resolve. They straighten, their joints cracking like dry bones in a fire. Their eye sockets remain fixed on you, their voice low and steady. Proceed. The air feels alive, charged with anticipation. The room is expectant almost, holding its breath.
I take a deep breath, composing myself as I stand before the two fingers. The weight of the moment hangs heavily in the air, almost palpably so. But I know what I need to do. I step closer to them, my eyes never leaving their form. With slow, deliberate movements, I reach into the pouch at my side, pulling out the mending rune of the Death Prince, a creation I crafted alongside my fellow Empyrean Miquella all those long years ago. I present to you the mending rune of the Death Prince.
Oh, no, actually. No, that is a wrong thing. Godfrey is to explain what Sirkido explained to him, and of the mending rune of reclamation that Grace chosen Hannes holds.
I stand tall before the two fingers, my voice steady and clear as I begin to speak. Two fingers, hear me now. I bring before you a vision, not of an age of perfect order, but one of mending. A world upheld by goodwill, where grace flows not by blood or conquest, but by the shared will to repair what is broken. I gesture toward Hannes, my voice unwavering. This tarnished holds the mending rune of reclamation, a rune that does not erase the fracture, but embraces it, making it the foundation of renewal. Justice shall be measured, redemption for those who seek it, burial for those who cling to malice, and only ash for the irredeemable. But above all, my voice deepens, resonating through the chamber. Forgiveness will be the highest virtue. The age to come will honor warriors still, but as guardians, not conquerors. I let the words hang in the charged air, my gaze locked with the fingers' hollow sockets. This is the vision Hannes offers. What say you?
There is silence, thick and heavy. Then the two fingers tremble once, twice, a subtle creak of old bone. Their ragged voice seems to echo in the chamber. The moment hangs in the air like the stillness before a storm. We accept.
I let out a breath, my heart thudding in my chest. Acceptance. The two fingers have accepted the vision, accepted the rune of reclamation. I close my eyes, suddenly overcome by a wave of relief, excitement, a mix of both. I can't quite tell. Then, slowly, I open them again, and my gaze remains fixed on the two fingers, unwavering. Now what?
The two fingers shift, their joints creaking as they slowly extend themselves toward you. Then, let it begin. A hum fills the air, deep, resonant, as the chamber thrums with an unseen energy. The mending rune of reclamation pulses, softly at first, then brighter, casting long shadows across the walls. The two fingers' gaze never wavers. Step forward, Hannes. Their voice is low but firm, and reclaim your age. The two fingers stir, their joints cracking like dry twigs in a fire. Their voices low, the words heavy with solemnity. You wish to confront a traitor to the Order? The two fingers shiver at the mention of Radagon's treachery. Their voices barely above a whisper, filled with weary resignation. We know of this. They seem to shift, as if bracing themselves. Your wish to confront Radagon? The two fingers tremble as you speak, their joints creaking like dry branches. Then slowly they raise themselves as if preparing for something. Your vision is ambitious. The two fingers creak and shift, their joints grinding as if in deep contemplation. Then their voice rings out, low and solemn. We will offer guidance to the people of the future as we have to you. The two fingers seem almost surprised at your gesture, joints creaking softly. For a moment they remain still. Then, slowly, their fingers curl forward, returning the embrace in a tender, almost affectionate manner.
I listen intently to Hannes' words, absorbing each detail of his plan. My mind races with thoughts and possibilities as I try to visualize the coming battle. I nod slowly, understanding the role that Hannes and his projection will play. I remain composed, though I can feel excitement stirring within me at the thought of battle ahead. But my mind is also filled with questions and doubts. I gaze at Hannes for a long moment, considering his words. His decision to give up the grace and his desire to seek guidance. I nod slowly, my expression solemn. I will do what I can to assist you, Tarnished. You have my word. I watch in quiet surprise as Hannes embraces the two-finger, their enormous finger gently tapping his back. A small smile tugs at the corner of my lips. It is a strangely endearing sight. The sight of the two fingers, so silent and stoic in their judgment, embracing a Tarnished with such affection. It is almost human. I listen to Hannes' words, surprised at the two fingers' kindness and soft-spoken demeanor. This a side of them I've never seen before, one that is almost humane. I nod, my expression softening. They are, aren't they? I hesitate for a moment, my mind still lingering on the two fingers and their unusual behavior. But then I shake my head, bringing myself back. Very well. Lead the way, Hannes. Let us find some place more private to discuss matters at length. I follow closely behind, my heart rate picking near the Colosseum. It is a place I am intimately familiar with, the place where I once fought some of my greatest battles, and the place where my reign began to fall in. Yes, I know the place. What is it you wish to discuss here? Let out a small chuckle at Hannes's unexpected questions. The Colosseum, the fighting arena. My thoughts return to a time long past. To the days when the Colosseum was filled with the roaring cheer of the crowd, the clashing of blades and shields. I shake my head a little, a wistful look in my eyes. Yes, I was once a frequent visitor to the Colosseum in my youth. I stare at Hannes for a moment, slightly taken aback at the suggestion. But then I realize the practicality of it. It would be much faster than on foot. You have my permission. I rub my head as I adjust to the abrupt change in location. The Colosseum looms high before us, a relic of a more brutal past. This place, it brings back many memories. I consider Hannes' words, my mind racing with possibilities. The Colosseum, a place where warriors could once prove their strength, their worth. A time when glory was not only won in the crucible, but in the arena. I look up at the Colosseum, its stone steps still holding strong despite the wear of the ages. It would bring back a sense of purpose for those who thirst for battle. Glory. I listen to Hannes' proposal, taking in his words. I can see the sincerity in his eyes, the desire to honor the warrior spirit without feeding into the vices of greed and bloodshed. A glimmer of respect in my eyes, a noble endeavor, Tarnished. To allow warriors the chance to prove themselves in battle, to satisfy their lust for glory without resorting to greed or violence. I agree that it should be strictly voluntary and for the sake of spectacle only. It was a vision worth pursuing. I look back at the Colosseum, its stone walls seeming to pulse with the echoes of past battles. We shall make it so. Those who follow the doctrine of goodwill shall receive the closer earthly burial. I lean back against the edge of the Colosseum, my eyes going distant. Memories long gone rise to the surface. The age of the Golden Order. It was a time of order and stability. The Erd tree shone bright in the sky, and the lands were at peace. I close my eyes for a moment, my thoughts going to a long-gone memory. Yes, I do miss something. Someone, to be precise.
Are you willing to share me who that was, or no? I respect your answer nonetheless.
I stare out across the Colosseum, lost in thought for a moment. The memories are sharp, like a knife to the heart. Yes, I will. I take a deep breath. Her name was Marika. She was my wife and the love of my life.
She's very desirable person, I assume.
I let out a small laugh, a bittersweet smile on my face. Desirable, that cannot encompass the depths of my love for her. She was beautiful, strong, and fierce. She was a force of nature itself. She was my better half, my equal.
Does this, Godfrey, I want to ask of you, I want to apologize for you, even though it is not myself who will be marrying Marika. It is going to be my projection, the pure form of grace and goodwill and compassion, a form of myself who is going to seek the her as the counterpart. Even though it is more of a secret duty for her and for the projection to bring about the new healthier Earth-3 and new age, and I myself will be serving as a mortal warrior, I still want to respect you as a man and your former life as her first lord.
I smile, a touch of sadness and understanding crossing my features. I accept your apology, Hannes. I see the necessity in your plan, and I respect the purpose you and your counterpart have in mind for Marika. I think for a moment, reflecting on the past. It will be strange seeing another man, another version of you standing where I once stood, but I understand the importance of what you must do.
I actually will not even see it myself. The impenetrable thorns shall stand. It is a secret affair happening inside the Earth-3. It is more secret, I think, that way. I will never meet my projection again, for I have grown very fond of it. It is like me giving up on a dear friend.
I consider Hannes' words once more, trying to fathom the depth with his projection. I see your bond with your projection is indeed strong. You seem almost attached to it.
What does that matter? I had defeated your both sons, Morgoth and Morg. And Morg's soul I sent to hereafter, but I am in possession of Morgoth's soul, and with myself I will be giving him the closest burial, so he will be also born, and some of the demigods will also be reborn due time, when the triburials and the rebirth will come back.
I listen intently as Hannes speaks, my eyes growing wider with each word. You defeated my sons, and you have possession of Morgoth's soul. I pause, his words sinking in. The idea of my son being reborn, it is almost too much to bear.
And I, with the Menden rune, I promise you, Godwin the Golden will experience true death and will return to life to the life cycle, death and life cycle.
A small glimmer of hope flickers in my chest. You promise my son he will be reborn?
Godwin will, his horrific mermaid monster form will fade into dust, and he will return to Earth-3's life and death cycle. Due time, in some place, he will reappear. I hope as a former glorified self to the new good age that you will be one of the main forces leading.
Hope blooms in my chest at the thought of my son's second chance. To see him return to life, I struggle to keep my voice steady. Yes, I'll do everything in my power to help lead this new age. I swallow hard, staring at Hannes. For my sons, for my family.
I have grieved for your loss, good sir. For the age prior to Shattering Wars, it has been, I assume it has been a glorious and epic and better time. And myself, I have only idea of it, yet it makes me somber.
I can feel my eyes grow watery, the weight of loss weighing heavy on my heart. Yes, it was a glorious time. A time of strength and valor. We believed in the power of the Crucible, and we fought and won. I paused, my voice cracking, but it was not meant to last.
As the Age of Reclamation and Age of Compassion, those will neither last. This is the probably saddest thing. Even if this age will last thousands of years, there will be time where people will by their free will and choice choose to align with chaos, to break the perfect society or the things that are too boring and too, manageable. Even if gladiatoric arena will be shooting the yearning for battle and glory, there will be time where the peace of reclamation does not quell the yearning heart to chaos. But it is going to be a long, long, long time from this.
I consider Hannes' words, the gravity of the truth he speaks weighing heavily on me. The cycle of order and chaos will always be there, a constant struggle between the two. You speak truths, Tarnished. The desire for chaos will always exist, no matter how strong the desire for peace is. The age of chaos will come again, it is inevitable.
Not today, not tomorrow, and not from the long time.
I smile softly, my heart swelling with gratitude. You speak with conviction, my friend. I like to hear that. This age of reclamation will last a long time. I placed my hand on Hannes' shoulder. Together, we shall bring about peace.
Together, we shall bring about peace.